So here's the first line of today's USA Today story about LeBron James missing last night's Laker game at Minnesota. Could Father Time be catching up to LeBron James? The Lakers could have just said he was resting last night on the second game of a road back-to-back. That's what they said when he sat out the second game of a road back-to-back in San Antonio after a game the night before in Dallas. But the Lakers announced LeBron was suffering, let me see if I can say this right, peroneal tendinopathy, an inflamed tendon in his ankle. And his ankles obviously were problems for him down the stretch and into last year's playoffs. After the loss in Chicago 2 nights ago, LeBron complained of fatigue, and we're not even to Christmas yet. And by the way, since that in-season championship they won, the Lakers have plunged to 1-4, just one game above 500 for the season. So I ask, what in the name of Michael Jordan is LeBron doing? I thought the plan was to pace himself this season, year 21, as he turns 39 on December 30th, so he could be much readier for the playoffs than he was last year. Instead, 6 times already this season, he has played 39 or more minutes as he approaches age 39. He's 31st in overall minutes played, so almost in the top 30 in the NBA, which is insane. He made winning the in-season tournament a priority, which required him to play an extra game that doesn't even count in the standings, the championship game against Indiana, in which he played 35 more minutes. Just mind-boggling for a player who says he's all about winning real championships. To me, LeBron is already building in an excuse just in case he and the Lakers flame out in fourth quarters of playoff games, as they did 4 straight times as they got swept by Denver last year. I'm out of gas. My ankle's hurt. Baloney. Keyshawn, help me out here. As a lifelong Laker fan, do you think LeBron played too much too soon?
Well, it's certainly shaping up that way, right? I mean, but I also understand why he played so much, to try to get ahead so we wouldn't be in a situation that it feels like we're going to be in at the end of the season again, which is, where are we going to be? Are we going to be in the play-in? Are we trying to fight? That's what it feels like based on those things as what's happened recently after the tournament. Okay, so I felt one way yesterday, right? I had him at a 6 on the panic meter.
You did.
Now I'd have jumped all the way up to 8.
Okay.
Because of this injury.
Right.
And the fact that we've lost 4 straight. Even though NBA season in the eyes of us starts on Monday.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that we're not going to make the playoffs or make a strong run in the second half of the season, whatever the case is. But we're getting behind the sticks now. Like, we're getting behind.
Yep.
We done all of a sudden, he's all of a sudden out. We don't know how long this is going to be. You know, every time LeBron is injured or has an injury, we don't know. It's not like he gets injured, comes back a day. It's always, well, we got to see, rest him, let's see. And then it turns into something longer.
Yeah.
And that's the concerning part for me. Now, here's what the silver lining could be. Can all of a sudden Anthony Davis stay healthy and do what he did last year for that little bit of a stretch when LeBron was out, and we turn things around with him? Can he do that? Because he's, for the most part, been playing pretty damn good basketball.
I thought he played pretty well last night.
Pretty well. He's been playing pretty good basketball. But can he put the Lakers on his shoulders and carry us to a point where, okay, that 8
like
drops down to that 8 drops back down to a 4.
Right.
Can he do that? And if he can do that and show us that he's not on Lil Wayne's trading block, then, you know, it saves us a little bit. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see if now can you be without LeBron for an extended period of time, because if they're passing you the torch, that's what it's going to be. You're going to be the guy. LeBron going to be chilling. Can you take over?
And Key, you know, when I'm watching last couple times, I say, oh, man, this might be the little bright spot here in this.
Absolutely.
Okay, the real alpha is out, and little alpha is trying to act like he's a big alpha, and he's playing well. Now, to what you just said about Anthony taking over, and I blurted out that MVP's name, That's the kind of performance this will take in what you're talking about. I'm always fascinated that everybody goes into a season with all of these plans. Like, we plan to do this and we plan to do that. The season will tell you what you better plan to do. You could go in with all of this. We're going to play 22 minutes here. I like that they went so hard at trying to win that in-season tournament. You know, I'm sure the league talked about how important it is and everything, and to get it kicked off. And obviously it was a big success, so they'll be doing that more. They'll be doing that more. Now, the issue is this. When they talk about the issues with this injury, they talk about older age, high arching feet, spending long hours on feet, lack of recovery. That's all a basketball season is. That's all it is. You're going to spend a lot of time on your feet. You're going to have a lack of time recovering. So this thing may last throughout the year or last for a while, because soft tissue injuries can last a while. And it's the one thing you didn't want. LeBron was lift off. He had been lifting off. We've been talking about the way he's taking the ball right to the hole, dunking the ball. And you saw last season at the playoffs, what happened, Skip. He tried to go to the basket the last couple of times. He had no lift in his legs, and that's what he was trying to prevent this year. And this is not good. This is as bad as it can get for what he wanted to accomplish with coming off with his feet.
This is why I say, Skip, about Anthony Davis. Let's just, as we like to say, let's assume that LeBron's missing an extended period of time. Let's just assume he does. That's going to rest him up. Just by nature, resting because you're hurt. Anthony Davis has an opportunity to win the hearts of those people that feel like he hasn't delivered at the level they anticipated him to do when he came over.
Including you.
Including me, no question about it.
And Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
I think that one's a lost cause.
But if he does...
Wait. If AD starts playing and putting up Joel Embiid like numbers.
31 a night.
He putting up Joel Embiid. You don't think you'll win him back?
Yeah, are we winning, though? It's got to be a combination.
The 76ers are winning over there.
No, but I'm saying it's got to be.
I understand what you're saying. They got Maxey over there playing like I don't know what, too.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Reeves has got to continue to keep playing with Evandy to step up. Like, it all can't be on his shoulders. He's just got to be the guy that when we give it to you, you go ahead and be a force to be reckoned with. It's your opportunity. The runway has extended for him here in Los Angeles now, with LeBron James being out. You're the guy. You're the guy. And what happens in our sport,
good point, Keith.
Next man up. He's the next man up, even though
he is the next man.
He's the next man up to lead the charge.
I agree with that.
They just gave it to you.
You're right.
All right. To Michael's point about the second alpha, AD, he tried to be the first alpha last night because after the game, when he spoke to the media, he called Friday night's game at Oklahoma City, he said, we're treating it as a must-win. We're not even to Christmas yet, and he's treating the game at Oklahoma City as a must-win.
You can't have 5 in a row.
Okay, because the last time they went to Oklahoma City followed up the debacle that was the game against Embiid in Philadelphia that they lost by 44 points. That's the equivalent of us losing 42-10 at San Francisco, Cowboys at San Francisco. That's like a bad sign kind of a lot. You lost by 44 to Philadelphia at Philadelphia. You turned it right around 2 nights later, and you lost by 23 at Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is arriving right before your very eyes. They have the second best record in the West to Minnesota, which beat your Lakers last night. But AD is saying this is we're going to treat it, approach it like a must-win at Oklahoma City on Friday night. Well, good luck with that, because if LeBron can't go, then you're heaping a lot of responsibility on your shoulders,
And
let's see what happens.
Clearly, he's willing to embrace that.
Okay, well,
he has conditioned his mind to say to himself and believe, I got to be the guy. I got to put it on my shoulders, and I'm okay with that.
Doubt.
That's showing me, not only is it showing me leadership, it's showing me you put yourself out there. Because anything short of doing what you just said, Skip, and Michael, about being somewhat of an Embiid type, now if you go in there, you giving up 16 and
Right.
Yeah, and that's not going to be good. So he's got to.
All right.
Play extremely well.
It's all on him.
All on him.
And LeBron's on him too now because the better he plays, the more LeBron can rest.
Absolutely. That's
Through
what I'm saying.
this point,
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta get LeBron healthy.
Now back to LeBron. I used this last year. I'm going to repeat it again for you because you obviously weren't here. You weren't here.
Y'all didn't hire me, but go ahead.
That's true. I spoke to an orthopedic surgeon last probably March-ish who had just seen a fresh MRI of LeBron's ankles because they were ailing him again. And he said just through wear and tear that they are a mess. Both of them are a mess, that they qualify as what you'd call arthritic ankles that are always going to plague you. That doesn't mean you're 80 years old. It just means you have arthritis. It's just
the joints flame up.
Yeah,
do you know how many times that man has rolled an ankle in a game? I don't know how many times I've sat at home and said, my God, because it rolls completely over where bone touches floor, right? Ankle bone touches floor. And over his career, I've never seen anybody shake off an ankle turn. He'll go and relace it up. He won't even go to the locker room. He'll just go relace and say, I'm good. And then he'll be just as explosive as ever. But if you keep rolling and rolling and rolling those ankles over time, as you get to 39, year 21, it's a problem. So I don't know how they can't save him from himself, because whatever chance you have, I like this team. I like what they got to get Gabe Vincent healthy, because he's a key cog as a big-time late-game shooter in this rotation. So he hasn't participated at all yet. They got to get Vandy, as you say, as in Vanderbilt, greatest name in the NBA. They need him as a defensive presence. They barely had him for 2 or 3 games now, and he's not even back in the starting lineup yet. But my point is, it was up to LeBron, because he takes himself in and out. Darvin can't sort of govern those minutes. If he wants to play, Darvin's going to let him play. At some point, somebody's got to tough love him enough to say, what are we doing here? I thought we had a plan. Aren't we going to honor the plan? It's pay me now or pay me later. Well, you got all swept. I think LeBron even gets swept up in after a few big early good games. And he was I kept saying, he looks like he's 28 years old, right? Instead of 38.
Well, he has.
And at some point, you don't think he starts thinking, what if I go win the MVP at 39? I got a shot here. What if I win the MVP? And all of a sudden, your ankles say, no, we can't take that. How many thunder dunks can you take? You elevate, you weigh, what's he weigh, 270, whatever? And you're coming down with a whole lot of force. And if you do it game after game after game, and you're playing high minutes early in the year, we're not even to Christmas yet, and you have to miss a game against the best team in the West, record-wise. I'm not saying they're the best team overall, but Minnesota is legit because they got those 2 big guys. And I thought if LeBron's going to try to play a back-to-back, he'll try this one just to see if they can make a statement and turn this thing back around. But he couldn't, and they announced he's not resting. He's got an ankle issue. Here we go again. And it's sad to see, because it would seem to me that June should be way more important to him than December. Right?
It is important to him, Skip, but in December, in November, you're trying to get ahead, because if you're ahead, if they are OKC or they're Minnesota and they're ahead, then you can pull back and allow him to rest up over time.
Right.
This just happened. Whatever, freak accident, whatever you want to call it, they didn't anticipate this happening. It happened now.
I think they did, in the big picture.
No, they didn't anticipate it. It is this could happen, the what-if factor, but they didn't anticipate it. But this is a good thing.
You don't plan on it, but you have to allow for it. You have to sort of account for it.
And here's the great thing about that now, though. If AD does what he's supposed to do, now, like Michael say, 1 day turns into 2, 2 turns into a week. Maybe a week turns into 2 weeks. Then you come back because AD has held it together, opposed to, oh my God, we just lost our 5th in a row.
I hear you.
We need to get him back out on the court.
And to Michael's point, I witnessed a game last year with no LeBron, Anthony Davis went in, maybe LeBron did play in this game, but Anthony Davis went into Philadelphia and destroyed Joel Embiid. I've seen him do it before.
No, yeah. He can do
capable,
it.
Right.
Capable.
He can do it.
But will you do it, and will you do it all the time? Because that's what it's going to take. Interestingly enough, you talked about two of the best teams in the West. You just had one, you lost that, and you'll have another. And there's another opportunity
got 'em back to back.
right here. There's another
1 and
opportunity.
2.
Well, he's put himself on notice and the rest of the team by saying
Right.
it's a must-win.
Right. And I want to see it.
All right.
It's almost like
Back
the
it up.
Cowboys is a must-win.
Yeah, like that. And by the way, Michael, I think Lil Wayne has seen enough of AD, and I think he's just completely, utterly
We gotta ask
over and
if-
done out. But we
If
can
he
ask him.
Joel Embiid the rest of this thing and get in the MVP race, will you still?
Not just
Will he
Joel,
get back at that
Joker.
altar?
Joel, Joker, any of the bigs that's smaller.
You're right.
Yeah.
But he ain't gonna be like Joker. He ain't gonna pass that ball like that from the.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.